They didn't have the best tournament last time.
No.
And I will say this. I did say on the last program, and I will own up to this. If the Rokkr didn't make the final, at least in the last tournament, I would say this is a cause for concern because their storyline now is becoming, can they get over the hump? Can they win the big one? Sort of like in Madden this past weekend, the Madden Bowl winner, Joke, had an illustrious career, amazing accomplishments, never won a tournament except for this past weekend. And now we're saying the same thing about Minnesota. Can they win the big one? They always seem like they can, and they are always this bubble team. But now there's that doubt, Emily. But one thing that you have said on this program, Emily, that I absolutely love, and I wonder if that factors in here, is you've said that Coach Saint and company are the very best at game planning in a return matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Especially against players that they've played before.
And I still believe that, actually. Like, honestly, like, the Rokkr coaching staff is, like, really smart and very dedicated. And I think that they... Like, this is now their greatest challenge, right? Like, we were talking about how the previous thing was their greatest challenge, and they did come back and beat Florida, but then had a really disappointing performance. I think they need to do, regardless of what we think about spawns, like, they need to do a lot better off of the respawn, and it's not something that they are unaware of. I think that this is a team and a coaching staff that knows what they need to improve on, and now it's just a matter of the fact that they have to execute it and execute it at a high enough level to make it to like I am incredibly concerned if the Rokkr don't manage to make semifinals for them, despite the fact that obviously they're like, it's tough, right? They're going up against Optic, they're going up against Chicago on their side of the bracket. But if they want to be a top team in this league, like their points suggest, because they've just been constantly racking up points from semifinals and finals appearances, right? Outside of last tournament. If they want to be a top team, like they need to make it to, in my opinion, they need to make it to finals, honestly, but like semifinals at least. So hopefully we'll see that because I really love this Rokkr team. I think the way that they all synergized immediately was like, again, like we only saw that from like really them and Atlanta, right? In terms of teams that just immediately like clicked with each other. And I don't want to see that as something that goes to waste. So, but yeah, I mean, I actually do really love the Rokkr's coaching staff. So hopefully they can turn it around for this event.
Katie, the other teams, I feel like we do all of these previews. We never really talk about Paris that much. Do you know what I mean? We just never focus on Paris. I don't know if it's good or bad, but we just don't.
It's bad. I mean, it implies that they haven't done anything worth talking about, right? And this is something that I have said forever, is that Paris is so inconsistent, and that inconsistency lies almost entirely on Kismet and his performance. Kismet is either incredible or horrible. He has no average. It's not like average and incredible. It's just wild pendulum swings one way or the other. And I think for Paris, like that's such a crutch for them to get over, right? Because you can beat literally the best teams if Kismet is feeling himself and you're all playing well. But if he's not, then you kind of just flounder around and you're average or kind of like lackluster. And Paris is possibly, to me, the most inconsistent team in the entire league.
Actually, yeah. Just because they're, like, with most teams, you don't see the same, like, up and down that you do with Paris, right? Even from map to map. Like, most teams, you see them either gradually improving or gradually getting worse. But with Paris, it's like, in the same series, they can have, like, an insane map and then one where they just get absolutely destroyed in the same exact series.
Crazy. It's just crazy to think that for all the previews that we've done, for all the teams that we talk about, we barely have any real Paris news or previews. Like they're often just there. You know,
yeah,
they're
they
just like
exist.
the fern. They're the fern in the living room that is just there and is existing.
Oh,
but like, think about how many episodes we've done of this show. We barely talk about Paris. Great city. I love the Eiffel Tower. I loved the city of Paris. Just we don't talk about the Legion.
People made fun of my
Yeah.
French accent when I went to Paris.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently I have a French Canadian accent when I speak French.
Oh, yeah. That's yeah. Me too.
Well, I think
growing up
it's
again.
Arda, I think
Anyway.
it's something similar to like or at least kind of talked about the Los Angeles Guerrillas before the big team change came in, was that their team winning depended entirely on how if certain players went off, like if Aqua went off or if Decimate went off and Aches didn't just play horrifically. Like there was something about that team where it was just like they were only winning when someone absolutely fried. And that's not how you're going to get consistency ever when it comes to a team. And I still think that is a huge thing that Paris is dealing with right now.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting.
Looping back into our, like, what brings you wins is, like, a lot to do with team chemistry and communication.
Yeah.
Well, there's
That's
a lot
theme
of
of
new
this
looking
episode.
teams. Yeah, it is. It is. The Revenge of the Pine is what I'm calling the preview with Zero Pristine and Enable, of course. So a lot of teams looking a little bit different, at least, going into the Seattle home series weekends.